It is that time, ladies and gentlemen, to go over all of your Tesla stock breaking news today and exactly why Tesla stock is struggling to stay above $200 per share. But first, holy crap! You are seeing the Russell 2000 up 1.2%, whereas the S&P 500 is slightly in the red. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. This data, the markets may take this as positive for interest rate sensitive companies, but this is very bad for the whole soft landing narrative. Let's just be honest here. Durable goods orders month over month for the month of January came in at negative 6.1%. Last month, you were revised from 0% to negative 0.3%. The estimate was negative 4.5%. Now take a look at this. This is a chart of durable goods orders. It's pretty common to see a strong month like you see in here, and then a very weak month after. Because when you're comparing month over month, if you just had a strong month, then it's not as bad if you have a really bad following month. And you tend to see that happen over and over again. Strong month, weak month, strong month, kind of weak month. But you just had a weak month and then an even worse weak month. And this was actually the worst month over month durable goods orders number that we have seen in all of 2024 so far and all of 2023. So you got to go back to 2022 to see a worse number than what we just got. So I just want to say this first and foremost here in this video. I don't care if small caps, interest rate sensitive names are doing well today. This is bad news for the markets. Timing on when the markets realize that the economy is not as strong as we think, we could be heading into a recession. I don't know when the markets realize that, but this was very bad. And let's be honest, if you're looking at the S&P 500 relative to where we were in 2022, the S&P is up well over 30% from the October 2022 lows, when the consensus was basically 100% chance we were heading into recession. You're up 48% from your 2022 lows. Now consensus is we're in a soft landing. I think we probably get a soft landing. We probably get a shallow recession, maybe no recession. That's probably, the most likely outcome here. But if it starts to look like the odds of a recession or a deeper recession are likely, or just let's say right now, if we're at 100% chance of soft landing, no recession, if we drop to 80% chance, that likely gives you market downside. If you drop to 60 or 50%, if the data continues to get worse, and yes, we will get some very big economic data tomorrow morning, that could cause substantial downside in markets that I don't think is priced as of right now. And that's kind of what Jamie Dimon was saying yesterday, that consensus is way too optimistic for the economy. But overall, that's just something to consider. Tesla's stock today was up a lot more in the beginning of trading, well over $200 per share. At one point today, you actually hit a high of about $205.60 per share, and you have gotten rejected from that level, falling to the low of $198 per share. Currently, Tesla is struggling around $200 per share. And the reason for this is you have a lot of option activity around that $200 call, which is currently in the money by about 5 cents. You have 61,000 for open interest here. This means the market makers have to start purchasing a bunch of Tesla stock if Tesla stays above 200 as we get further throughout the week. And this is a reason why I said on Sunday, I expect we're going to have a strong start to the week and a weaker end of the week, just because of this, I like to call it a call wall around $200. Market makers are heavily incentivized to keep Tesla stock under $200 per share. To the contrary, if Tesla gives us good news, or if there's really, positive developments in the markets that cause Tesla stock to rally, the stock could really rally this week. So that's a bit of a problem, maybe a big positive. We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow's data The GDP will be important, but specifically Thursday's PCE report. That is going to really dictate what happens with Tesla stock throughout the rest of this week. But Tesla's stock at the time of recording this video is holding in there with a 0.35% gain. So we are still green on the day. And I mean, overall, the charts look very good. We did get Tesla China weekly insurance registration numbers. This is up about 12% year over year. For the same week last year, you had 10,705 insurance registrations, and for the week of February 19th through the 25th, you had 10,800, so slightly better, and I would say this is good news. It's good news for the overall number. It's showing people continue to buy Teslas, but it's also good news because, well, markets, they have very low expectations for Tesla. So Tesla just coming in line with expectations with a decent number is good news, let alone if Tesla starts knocking people's socks off, in which I think is a possibility that not a lot of people are considering. It's also worth mentioning that the Chinese New Year does typically slow down delivery numbers around the last, couple of weeks or so. That's why they have been on the lower side. 10,800, 2,600, 5,700. The last 3 weeks have been pretty low. The next couple of weeks tend to be a lot higher. As you can see, last year for next week, technically this week, 13,000 insurance registrations, then you jump to 17,000, then to almost 19,000, down to 16,000, 14,000, and then you kind of moderate again in between 6 and 12,000. So the next couple of weeks could be on the stronger side. We are also getting news that Tesla is offering a 4,000 euro bonus in France for an upgraded Model 3 propulsion rear-wheel drive in stock. Tesla Australia is building its second V4 supercharger site. It will be located in central Tablelands, NSW. A total of 6 stalls will be built. Tesla has launched Tesla Assist beta in its new app designed today. Tesla Assist is a customer support virtual chat assistant. As of right now, it only gives you answers to basic questions. Tesla Model Y secures 2024 IIHS Top Safety Pick Award despite tougher metrics. For 2024, they required improved production for rear seat passengers and pedestrian safety features for 2024 models. Electrified vehicles, including hybrids and fully electrics, are becoming more desirable than their gasoline counterparts. Consumer Reports said on Tuesday, while adding 7 of them to its top 10 picks for 2024. This is according to an article from Reuters. Tesla has also made significant strides in improving its supply chain sustainability and human rights practices, as per a new study by environmental group Lead the Charge. Tesla jumped from 9th to 3rd place in the group's annual auto supply chain leaderboard and report. Quote, Tesla improved across all 8 subsections of the leaderboard, the only automaker to do so, with changes mostly noticeable in the fossil-free and environmentally sustainable supply chain section, up 20 percentage points, and boosted a further 20% due to Tesla's positive climate lobbying record. And in the news that we shared yesterday, that Tesla scored the best in overall loyalty to make, as well as ethnic market loyalty to make, and highest conquest percentage and alternative powertrain loyalty to make. Tesla shared this post from Sawyer Merritt and says, "We love you guys too." Jim Farley says on X, "It's here, doing some testing and excited to share more info very soon." And this is with the Tesla supercharger, and GM and Ford are expected to join this very soon. So I don't know exactly what he means by more info soon. We already kind of know what is coming next, but nonetheless, new info is new info, and I'll report it to you guys when we get it. Now, BYD's America boss had some very specific things to say about EVs and about the US as a whole. They say, quote, "We're not planning to come to the US. It's an interesting market, but it's very complicated if you're talking about EVs. She added that if a car company does not invest in EVs, quote, "You are out. You will die. You have no future." I mean, geez, that's kind of a bombshell in and of itself. I think BYD and Tesla are on the right path here, and the fact that they just come out and say that, I think tells you quite a bit. China's really leading the charge as far as the next wave of vehicles and vehicle adoption, and it's clearly in the direction of EVs. And some of the biggest news of all today, Apple has canceled its electric car project after working on it for nearly 10 years. Apple made the disclosure internally on Tuesday, surprising the nearly 2,000 employees working on the project. They're going to shift these 2,000 employees to focus on generative AI. Now, this is actually really good news for Tesla. I've long had the impression that if Apple actually created a car and started to sell a vehicle, it would probably go over very well. The brand of Apple is much the same as Tesla. There's a lot of brand loyalty. People love the products. I mean, you don't want to mess with the Apple crowd, right? There's fierce debates to this day, Apple and Android. And if you're an Appler, you're an Appler. And I think an Apple car would have been wildly successful. It also is really going to dampen down even further the competition for Tesla over the long haul. With all of the investment slowing down or non-existent anymore with GM, Ford, and other legacy OEMs, sure, they benefit in the near term on profitability because they're not investing as much to, build out EV plants and infrastructure and develop these EVs. But over the course of the next couple of years, that's really going to come around to bite them hard. Whereas Tesla continues to pull forward, continues to invest, and get ready for the future. Let me know what you guys think. Is Apple canceling its plans for EVs or Apple cars a positive or negative for Tesla? Google Trends data for the Cybertruck continues to pick up, now at 27, and I've talked about this a couple of times in other videos. This is probably halo effect like search trend activity. It's probably not investors that are driving the search trend activity in the Cybertruck. I think this recent rise in search trend activity on Google has been via the auto shows, celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Pharrell Williams, Jay-Z and Beyonce posting about the Cybertruck, taking photos with the Cybertruck. I think that is starting to lead to a lot of search trend activity for the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck on Google Trends has went from 16 to 27 over the course of the last month or so. And I think as this data continues to be finalized and get more precise, you're going to see that Google Trends number continue to rise. And actually, you could start to see the early effects of the Cybertruck halo effect to the Tesla brand. In terms of Tesla investors, I don't think that is priced into Tesla stock at all as a possibility of the Cybertruck being more successful than expected. I don't think that's priced in. I don't think a halo effect is priced in as well, like in which we've seen with the Model Y. But keep in mind, the Model Y did take about a full year to actually boost sales and the entire brand. It was not until the next year in 2021 where investors were like, wow, this Model Y is really helping Tesla even sell more Model 3s, Model S, Model X's. If we take a look at the entirety of the Google Trends data, we can see a slight downtick for the Model Y going from 35 to 32, a slight uptick for the Model 3 going from 33 to 34, the Cybertruck again going from 25 to 26, and the Model X going from 8 to 9. So overall, some solid trends here. And keep in mind, Q1 tends to be the slowest quarter of all. And you're still off to a rock solid start for 2024. Global inventory numbers definitely falling here today for the Model Y, going down recently from 7,800 down to 6,700, so 1,100 drop in inventories for the Model Y. That is great news. The Model X is also falling here in purple. Model S has been falling ever since around February 18th, so the last 2 weeks or so. You've went from almost 2,300 in inventory now down to 1,400, and the Model 3 inventory, as it has risen from 700, it's still only at 1,500, 1,400 or so. Pretty much in line with Model S inventory numbers. So the demand for the Model 3, in my opinion, looks off the charts based on this literal chart that we're looking at. And Tesla continues to run about 2,000 different ads via Google. A lot of these ads are now video ads. Some people I've heard report that Tesla ads have been shown on some of these videos that are posted to the channel. You're also seeing some Google shorts that have been made as well. Let me know down below in the comment section if you've seen a Tesla ad on this video or other videos on the channel in the past. I'm really curious to see if Tesla is targeting, you know, advertising on Tesla videos, or if they're targeting advertising on other automakers' videos. The percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average is up 2.66% today. Now 54% of stocks are above their 50-day moving average, which this is a little bit more broadening out of our markets, if you will, but we're still very suppressed in your average stock, right? So we're going to need to see this continue here, or likely the headline S&P and the NASDAQ are probably coming down as well. Sentiment around Tesla went from bullish yesterday at 55 here on StockTwits to bearish today at 44, considering Tesla stock is still up 1%, but is down from the almost 3% gain we had in the early parts of the trading day. That makes sense why people are like, you know, kind of mad. Like, what the heck is this stock? Why is it falling, right? Just understand there's a lot of call activity around that $200 strike. If you stay above $200, especially as we get closer to Friday, more and more shares are going to need to be purchased by the market makers. And if we can stay above 200, I expect the end of the week could be very strong. But these next 24 hours or so are going to be very important for that, and to see if that ultimately happens. Message volume is higher today. Yesterday it was at 45, categorized as normal. Today it's at 52, which is also categorized as normal, but a little bit of an improvement there. And the participation ratio, the most important metric of all, is at 56, which is high today. Now the participation ratio is basically telling you if more people are talking about Tesla, not just more messages, but more people. So more people are talking about Tesla today than you have seen in a while, which does tend to correlate to the stock, you know, going higher or going lower. Tesla currently has 3.28% short interest of free float, and the dollar amount currently sold short has risen quite a bit recently from the lows at about $14.7 billion to now $18.09 billion, as Tesla stock has went from 175 to 200. Short sellers have lost roughly $2.5 billion on that move alone. That's another reason or another incentive to keep Tesla stock under 200, really that breakout level, because if you start to break out here, short sellers are going to start losing a ton of money. You can see cost to borrow fees today less than 2% at about 1.8% currently, and that's just, again, showing you there's not a lot of appetite to short Tesla stock today. Option activity from hedge funds and institutions, 53% positive today. You have seen 855 orders totaling $204.47 million. If you take a look at the entirety of the option activity today, volume 63.62% to the call side, 36.38% to the put side. So almost 2 times as many calls being bought compared to puts. And again, a lot of those calls are those weekly options around that $200 strike. We do have a ton of earnings coming out here in after hours. Just to point out some notable names: First Solar, Bumble, Devon Energy, Recursion Pharmaceuticals, Beyond Meat, Lemonade, Virgin Galactic, Redfin, eBay, Exxon, Vizio, Array Technologies, Splunk, which that one has a buyout, so there's really no trade on that. Luminar Technologies, Coupang. I do have quite a few trades on some of these names. If you guys want to check out those trades that I put on for these earnings, check out that link down below in the description of this video to join the trading community. TLT is down 0.62% today. Not exactly great for your banks, and that does mean your treasury yields are rising today, which is kind of strange considering durable goods came in so bad. The dollar is down about 0.06%, little bit of good news, and gold is really not doing anything, down about 0.1%. 10-year treasuries indeed rising about 1.5 basis points today to 4.31%. And here's something else that is strange. The GDP estimate that we had since February 16th up until today was 2.9%. Durable goods orders came in really negative, and the GDP estimate went higher to 3.2%. You really can't make that up. This is the Atlanta Fed GDP Now tracker. I would be very careful here, especially heading into tomorrow's GDP report and what we're expecting with that. But then again, the odds for a rate cut in June did go up a little bit today, from 49.5% yesterday to 49.9% today. Consensus is still that we get a rate cut in June, but that could get pushed out to July if we get another hot economic data report or, something along those lines. You are also seeing Apple now up 1.25% based on this cancellation of the Apple Car news, which I find kind of crazy to move Apple, an almost $3 trillion company, that much. The stock was actually slightly in the red before that news came out, so congrats to anyone that did hit that trade, but could be a short-lived one to say the very least. I think people are more excited about Apple actually focusing on AI, or at least that's what they're claiming they are going to do. So I think that is really bailing out the S&P 500 here. That is still just a little bit in the green, but was previously in the red. And you can see ARM, the stock that has a lockup period on March 12th that I'm pretty confident is going to fall over the next couple of weeks. They're down about 5% today. So far, so good on that trade as well. Tesla stock continues to follow this uptrending line of support. We'll see if that does continue. If it does not, then you would target support around 197, 198 over the next couple of days. Now, you have an RSI of about 51, which is neutral, so I think that supports Tesla stock can continue to run further from here. And your MACD line is still negative about 3.46. Your signal line is negative about 6.17. So when that actually goes positive, I think you could get more optimism, more traders heading into Tesla stock, and I still think that means Tesla stock can go higher from here. Let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. We have a lot to get into in the next video, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. Again, if you guys want to come join the trading community, check out that link down below in the description of this video, and go ahead and follow the X account. We post a lot of great information over there. Some of what we talk about here in these videos as well gets mentioned first on X. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.